Ladies and gentlemen, dos&d Uncut. Welcome back, everybody.
Come on, Sammy. Yes.
That's it, Sammy. Sammy is in serious need of some Ritalin. Is that what we said?
Oh,
earlier?
geez, yeah.
I don't know if you could say that.
No, we probably can't. But he's I don't want to say anything wrong.
No. What we're saying, guys, is again. So I think the last few Uncuts we've done it first thing in the morning. And the exciting thing about today is we've just finished doing 3 interviews today at our illustrious studio, and now we're going to finish the day with an hour of power of some laughs. Dos, how are you feeling after
Good,
today?
mate. Good. I mean, feeling fresh and different because our last 3 interviews we've had today, we're in a new kind of location within the location.
Yeah.
We've got some new signage thanks to Fleet Plan Eye Solutions.
Got to mention them.
We got to mention them, and it just feels fresh and vibrant and new.
It's
and
fresh.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a fresh feeling. Speaking of fresh, your haircut,
Thanks.
very even shorter than before. But
This is the DOS of old.
dos of old. It looks great, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
And you took that cut a little bit.
Personally.
Well, yeah. Well, what happened there?
Well, I actually paid probably a bit extra for this haircut because online, this barber that I found, I'm funny with things like this. I will look at reviews.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that. Oh, I went and
I
barber.
find my guy. I'm happy, and then that's it.
Barber in my area. I'm looking for reviews. These guys look good, but why I liked them was they had a specific option that you could click, which is it was $75,
Jeez.
and if you were going in there wanting a different style, but you didn't know how to express, you basically wanting there. You're going there for a transformation, essentially.
Oh, really?
And they, guide you through it, right? So went in there, bloke named Des, Ripper, Scottish bloke.
Great breed of people.
Yes, from Scotland. And Scottish man, lovely fella. Straight away, I was honest. I said, look, Desi, I'm self-conscious about these little things, all right?
What are those for those that
Now,
are
I've got
listening?
these, I've basically got almost, how would you describe it? Like,
You've got a receding hairline. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
my hair's not, like, my whole hairline's not going up, but I've got the sides, like these 2 little round spots.
As we all do.
And that's what he said to me. He goes, mate, it's just, I'm sorry to tell you, it's just part of getting older.
Yeah.
It's just part of, you turn 30, you're getting older. But I loved it because he filled me with confidence and he goes, mate, we'll fix it up. It's okay. What do you want? And I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
I said, I like the old, I didn't specify with him what I liked or wanted.
So what did we learn today? Whose fault is that?
My fault.
Yeah, we learned that.
Exactly. Take ownership. And I wish I just explained to him exactly what I wanted, and I'm too nice. And I was too enthralled in the conversation with him because we were just going back and forth.
Yeah,
and,
you're vibing.
yeah, we're vibing. And then I walked out feeling like shit.
And you were quite upset because I got in the car. Where were we going? We were off to a meeting, and you were actually flat as a tack. But again, there's
A few days later.
there's a great saying about a haircut. The difference between a good haircut and a bad cut is 2 days. So once you kind of adapt
3
to it,
days ago it was.
yeah, exactly. You start to get used to
4.
it. And today it looks great already.
Thanks.
So
Yeah, I changed it up a
you
bit.
changed it up, did you? Yeah. No, mate, looks great. But
Thanks.
we've
Sorry,
had-
that was a long-winded answer.
It was, but that's okay. That's what we're here for.
Thanks.
It's called podcasting, and
Yeah, it
we're
is.
allowed to expand. Now, we've had a big day as mentioned, but we're actually coming off a
Have we
pretty big
ever?
week. Well, actually, a couple of weeks ago, it'll be 6 weeks ago when this episode comes out, but we released a huge episode with Gavin Krasiska, and didn't that just
Got so
catch a bit of
it
wind?
got so much wind that we ended up in not only the Daily Mail but also the Channel 7 online news.
Yeah, and
which
for
was
once, the Daily Mail weren't saying negative things, so that was
I
nice.
know. That was it. Those little things are not just little nice add-ons here and there,
Exactly. And
which was good. And the episode itself impacted a lot of people.
it did. Huge episode. And again, speaking of former guests, Darren Burgess, another big episode we had a few weeks ago. What a gentleman he is, because he actually gave us an all-access pass and a day at the football.
Not just a day out at the footy. We got to go on the rooms, Adelaide rooms, which I know there's a segment coming on a bit later. But one thing we did learn is when you go down, down the elevator at the MCG and you're hitting the car park.
By the way, somewhere Wade Cousins is quite familiar with. He knew exactly where we were going. Spent a fair
I've
bit of
been
time
there.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
It was
been in the industry.
I was losing my virginity to that day.
Yeah, I've been in the rooms a few times, but one thing we will say is that there's a lot of power tripping that goes on below deck or below ground level.
Well, not just that. We obviously, for gambling reasons, our phones were confiscated
prior
on
to the
And
game.
that was actually quite interesting, sitting in the rooms, and we're just admiring everything that was going on. But we just want to say a big thank you to Darren for organising that, because
It was good fun.
it's great to actually meet him in person,
was.
because we did that one on Zoom.
A good friend of ours, Razor Ray, was in the rooms as
Razor
well.
Ray. What was his quote when we saw him?
Well, after the game, the Crows got up against the Bombers. went down, and the rooms, they're not packed at the start of the game,
No.
are they?
And
But
you
they're
wouldn't
bloody packed. They pack them in there like sardines at the end.
well, if they win.
Friends and family for the win.
Yep.
And some of the media. And we walk in, and Ray, he's down there on behalf of the ABC radio. And he saw us and he goes, "Who the fuck let you two in the rooms?" And we just looked at him and go, "Mate, we just got connections."
We do, and but we had a great laugh with him,
did,
and
we
there was a few former guests hanging about in the room. It's nice to send a few Cheerios to the directions of a few people, and gee whiz, it actually felt like a nice little bubble in there for once.
I know.
We'd always talk about bubbles as not the greatest of things, but for us that was lovely. So, anything else happening in your life, mate? Anything else in the intro you've got? Or?
I don't have anything personally,
No.
but I do have one thing that we definitely wanted to bring up, which was you were locked out of your house in recent times, which I had a good giggle at because I think we were texting or we were on the phone or something. And
Yeah, I was angry.
or we were supposed to be on a meeting. Or you were supposed to be on a meeting, weren't you?
We're lucky that all went smoothly.
Is that partner now on board?
Yes.
Yep.
So, and we can say it, Mitch Dowd, who, if you listen to the last few episodes of the show, you would have, how generous they've been to the guests. It's great to have them on board.
So nice.
But, well, actually, I was meeting with them for the first time on Zoom, and I can't believe I did this. I was so rattled in the morning because you know me, I consider myself very organised. I rarely lose things or make mistakes. And
You're almost too organised sometimes.
I was out that morning. I can't remember where I was, but I came home and I had to walk my dog, and I knew that I had to keep my keys on me. And I went to throw my wallet on the desk, and in the confusion, I threw my keys. Took the dog for a walk, got back to my apartment, and realised I couldn't get in. So I was stuck with no keys. The way it is, the door's locked behind you. There's no spare keys under the mat. There's no way. So I was in serious trouble. And then the dreaded thing that you think about is, how do I get back into the house?
Well, let's go through the options. Where could a spare key be?
Well, there's no spare key.
So the housemate isn't home. Your housemate.
I ring my housemate in the city. She said, if you can come to the city and pick him up. Well, I can't because
How are you going to get there?
how am I going to get to the city? And I've got my dog with me. So can't just get a big Doberman on a chain. Not that easy. Nor would he actually walk the distance to the... True. I found that quite humorous. So anyway,
It's a big dog.
Guess what happened, boys? Guess what option B was from there? Basically, guys, I went through the options and I realised that the only person that would have a spare set of keys was my ex-girlfriend. As everybody in the room...
Everyone grimaced their teeth
Everybody
at the same time.
grimaced their teeth. So basically, I had to make the dreaded phone call and just say, look, hey, no, this is very random.
I want to hear the details here. So
Yeah.
is it... Because that's just a
Awkward.
phone call. Or was it a text or what
It
was
was a text first saying, hey, are you busy or are you around? The answer was yes. I'm not busy. So yes, I'm around. I said, that's great. I said, and then I just pick up I'm a caller. I hate texting. So I just pick up the phone and ring.
I know you hate texting because your phones are do not disturb 24/7.
I don't like, just ring me.
Yeah, no, I do ring and then it doesn't go through.
I've been better at that. I've been so much better at that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
It's on D&D today, but that's for a reason. Anyway, give her a call, and I just said, look, this is random. I've locked myself out of the house. I know you. Do you still have the set of keys? And she said, let me have a look. Thankfully, they were stuck to her keychain, and she couldn't get them off, right? I said, is there any chance you can drive to my house and let me in? I've got a meeting in like 20 minutes. I need to get in. She said no, because somebody's coming I have to be at home. There was somebody fixing a washing machine. I wasn't listening.
So she was at home.
She was at home, but she's like, can you come get him? I'm like, well, no, I can't. And I'm trying to think, who can I ring to help me get, Anyway, she said, does Uber do a service? And it turns out they do. It's called Uber Courier. Were you aware of this?
Well, I've used normal Uber for this.
Yeah. So basically, I was able to send an Uber driver
I didn't know this.
to her house. But the problem was she had to send me, because she couldn't get the keys off, I had all her keys and she had to get to work. So basically, the Uber driver rushed. I ran upstairs, got the dog inside, had to get in my car, drive all the way to her house, throw the keys out the window, drive back home, and then get in the meeting.
So you had to order another Uber back with the keys?
No, I had to drive. I drove
you
him
drove
home.
him,
I
yeah.
drove him back to her place. So
she still has... Did you get the key off her keychain?
no, because
she still has...
I tried, she tried, and the Uber driver
Okay.
tried, and he can't get the keys off. So anyway, look,
So the ex-girlfriend still has access.
as 24/7 access, unless I change the locks. But I
How
might
does it
not.
make you feel about that?
Well, I was delighted that day because I got back into the house. And I'm a trustworthy person. I don't
Yeah, you
think
are. You've
there's
got nothing to
anything-
hide.
No, but speaking of though, Dos, this actually came across my desk, I think last night or this morning, which I found very funny. So today we interviewed a professional eater, didn't we, James Webb?
No.
And that was a great episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
But
I'm worried.
basically what happened was we were trying to organise
Oh no.
an eating contest, right?
Yeah.
And last night we did a last minute. It all happened last minute, so we decided let's try and do a challenge. We racking our brains. So we get pancakes. Where do we go? A connection of ours. You said, "Hey, let me ask this person. He runs a chain of restaurants. Maybe we can organise something last minute." And I said, "Yep, leave it to you. All sounds good." This morning I thought, or last night actually, I thought I'll just quickly go into these DMs, which was from the dos&d account, and have a little look at. You look so worried. Look at what was said. And Dos made a very funny, I just thought this was a very funny typo. Because this just explains Dos
If it's your and your, was it worse than that?
No. This explains Dos to a T. No, I'm not bringing up your. So basically the conversation was you guys were negotiating if this particular person could deliver. And then you said, actually, one of the boys live in Richmond. How early could we grab the breast muffins? So he meant to say...
I did not know that.
He clearly meant to say the brekkie muffins. But Dos being Dos...
I didn't even double look.
Have a quick look at that.
I didn't even double look at this.
and it's funny because the conversation shortly
How early
flatlined.
could we grab the breast muffins? And he ignored it. He goes, "How many would you need?"
and nothing ended up happening, and we got radio silence.
Maybe
after
that's
that
why he
because of the breast muffins. So I just thought I'd quickly bring that up because
actually brought a tear to my eye.
because he just loves sucking on tits. Now, what have we got on the show today, Dos?
A couple of things on my end.
Yep.
So first up, I've worked alongside Sammy. We've got some secondhand awkwardness.
Oh,
So
yuck.
secondhand embarrassment that
Is this
you
because
might
I
feel.
embarrassed myself a little bit?
There's
Yeah.
a particular moment a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks back, we were at an event and you did something so embarrassing that I almost wanted to dig a hole and jump through.
I actually don't want to. I don't want to
again.
relive this. I'm not looking forward
It's
to
horrible. So I've gone and found some of the best and other moments that all of us, we experience secondhand embarrassment and we don't probably realise it until you're in it.
Yeah.
And then the second one that I've gone and done a little bit of digging is a good friend of ours, Will James, listens to the show every week. Now, I'm going to butcher the name of this show and we've butchered it. Well, what's it called again, Sammy? My Strange Addictions.
And I've got written here, My Weird Obsession.
Yeah, so D thought it was called My Weird Obsession. Oh, we got mixed up. So My Strange Addiction, we've gone and found some of the old My Strange Addictions from
So
the
it's
show.
a TV show, was
It's
it?
a TV show.
Yeah.
Or it might have been a series, an online series. Mate, some of them are going to make you sick.
Ugh.
And so
Are we
we've
going to
got-
see it on the
Yeah, we
screen?
are.
Oh, it's disgusting. Then, of course, Two Edge Hot Topics will return. I'm going to put you through the ringer today. And then, speaking of what you said earlier today about the MCG car park and just people that have far too much power, it got us thinking. We thought, let's go through, and I found probably the top 8 jobs in the world that require or are just known for being power trippers. And we're just going to work our way through that list a little later on.
Let's do it.
Anything else?
No, let's... I'm excited. Let's go.
Let's do it. We'll be back to dos&d Uncut in just a moment, but first...
Fleet Plant.
Fleet Plant.
Head to fbh.com.au for more info. What is the strangest thing that you've ever been obsessed with or addicted to? Like when looking back yourself, what do you go, gee, that was a bit unhealthy?
That's a very, very good question, Wayne. And very open-ended. Can I come back
You
to you?
said Wayne.
Can I come back to you on the end of the segment with this?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, once you hear a few of these, it might spark
Yeah.
a couple of ideas. But
Kissing my dog on the lips.
well, that's not an addiction in my eyes.
Yeah, it's not addiction. It's actually not addiction.
That's not a strange addiction.
That's a weird habit.
Yeah, it's just it's something that not many people do. By the way, I read something the other day that's dangerous. Letting your dog lick your face or your ears or anywhere. Because it can a lot of bacteria. You don't know what bacteria are, and it could create.
No, I'm kissing him on the lips tonight when I see you, Danger. I'm kissing your lips.
I wish I knew the stats or what that specific thing was, but basically, a show back in the day called My Strange Addiction was brought to my attention by
me,
by
through
you
somebody else.
through someone else.
Will James, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Will. You guys talk on the daily. Will rings you every day, and D ignores his calls. Just joking, Will. We love you. Basically, I've gone and found 5 of the fucking most bizarre things you've ever seen on that show.
The F-bomb's been dropped. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Some of them are revolting and you won't
let's
believe
go.
it. And I'm sure so many of us have seen them across our socials. So over the years when these things have been repurposed, we see old clips from old TV shows resurfaced years later.
So this isn't drug and alcohol and gambling.
This is not, no, it's not. These are just bizarre obsessions.
Like one
and
person
addictions.
in the world might be addicted
Exactly.
to it. Okay, really weird.
So Sammy has come with me on this ride and he's provided some absolutely incredible footage, haven't you, Sammy? Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through that. The first one.
Is this going to make me feel sick?
Yes.
Oh, no. Didn't want to end the day like this.
Yeah. The first one is this lady liked to eat sand because of the crunch. We're going to start small. Let's start small. This woman loved the crunch of sand. She's obsessed with eating sand.
Oh, we've got video footage.
We've got some footage. We're going to play. She's from Kansas City.
My name is Bria. I'm 19 years
Looks
old.
very normal.
And I'm addicted to eating sand.
Oh!
She loves the crunch.
It's always good.
Keep playing. No,
like
keep
a
playing.
Seasoning or something. I've taken a tortilla chip, dipped them in sand, and ate them, and it gave the chip the best crunch that I've ever got in my entire life.
She's...
My favorite combination of sand is when I mix it with gum. It's just like mouth-watering.
Oh, that's revolting.
Okay. That's...
So just for anybody that is listening and didn't quite hear that, she was, in the last clip there, got used gum.
Firstly, tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Using sand as dip.
Yep. And then...
And it adds an extra crunch to the already crunchy chip.
And then she had chewing gum and was dipping it into sand. That is revolting.
It's not nice, that's for sure. If anything, it's unhygienic. But I don't think it's as revolting as some of the ones you're going to hear.
Oh, but that's already a bad start.
So the next one, this might make you feel a bit sick. What is one thing when you become a dad, if you're lucky enough or want to be one day, what is one thing you're not looking forward to?
Oh, yeah, you know this. I hate baby dribble and snotty noses. And
Well, what about baby diapers and changing dirty nappies?
Oh, this is gross.
So this woman...
Are these people, are these fetishes or something?
You could say that.
Oh,
this woman, she's addicted to dirty diapers.
Oh.
Click play.
Love sniffing and chewing dirty diapers. It has to have pee in it. It has to have pee in it. The heavier ones that have more pee smell better. Yeah. This one's soft.
Oh!
I love it.
Get off.
Oh.
No more.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Jared. You're going to have to edit that. Do you know what that reminded me of? You had a strange addiction.
What? Don't.
No.
What is it?
No, it's relax.
I've got a bad one now still.
You would often touch your jocks and then smell your fingers straight after.
I think that's a common male thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes I even scratch my other places and...
Your testicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, you scratch your testicles, your armpits, and you sniff straight away. Yeah.
And maybe my ass.
Oh, God. Hopefully that... He scratches his ass and sniffs it. But this woman we just watched, I assume these are random people's feces. Yeah, can we get it off the screen?
Sammy's just made a good observation. He's
oh!
paused it of her chewing a pooey nappy.
It actually looks like a burrito from here, a wrapped up burrito.
Well, just play it again.
No.
Play it again, Sammy. Click play. Imagine that's a burrito. No, keep it going.
Sammy,
for a little.
Tastes
Can't even do
amazing. I have one while I'm cooking in the kitchen. I have one in my drawers. I have one while I'm sleeping. I keep some in my trunk. I keep some in my pocketbook.
Okay, that's enough of that.
That's sickening.
So she loves the smell. And obviously she puts it in her mouth. She doesn't eat the poo.
Oh, she doesn't eat it?
No, but she chews the outside and must...
Honestly, I'm not kidding. If that is your addiction, you should genuinely, police should be, you should be investigated.
Seek medical
No, but
help.
that could be dangerous to people.
Yeah.
Not to her. I mean, to kids.
Yeah, true. But I think they're her kids' nappies.
Well, either way, she should give her kids up.
Yeah, true. Unhealthy, that's for sure.
Dead serious. That's fun.
Number 3.
Please don't get
Now,
more
there's a friend
disgusting.
of ours who we've caught up with who has quite long fingernails. Love the man to bits, but man, that freaks me out. And you know what's going to freak you out more is this lady who refuses to cut her nails, and she calls them her babies.
Oh my God.
I have long fingernails and toenails. They're deceptive
Keep
and
watching.
sassy.
I can't.
I am considered a long nail goddess.
Oh,
Ayana's addiction
My-
started with her fingernails when she was 24. But eventually, those weren't enough to satisfy her
what
obsession.
in the fuck
So
is wrong
5
with this
years
woman?
ago, Ayana began growing her toenails.
My toenails are my babies. If I break a toenail, it's like a limb missing. I will
Turn it off.
fiercely
That's all right.
protect
Turn
them
it
at
off.
all.
You heard it there. Her toenails are her babies.
Far out. Please
mean-
tell me it doesn't get worse.
I mean, toenails and fingernails,
Yeah, it's gross.
long, just averagely
ick you
big.
out.
They ick me big time, especially the fingernails. My worst habit is chewing my fingernails, actually. So at least she doesn't have to deal with
I
that.
chew my fingernails, but
Okay, this one is. It makes me sick. I'm not saying that the others don't make me sick, but this when I saw this yesterday, I thought we have to put this in. As much as I don't want to watch this, because it literally made me gag.
oh, get on with it. I can't take it. Just play it.
Firstly, do you want to be buried or cremated?
I think I want to be cremated.
Okay. Well, if you're going to be cremated, don't get anywhere near this woman because she's addicted to eating her husband's remains, which is his ashes. Oh. Finger licking good, I say, she says. Oh.
So when I actually saw a video, have you seen? There's a viral video at the moment that's actually inside a cremation, and it shows.
I don't want to watch that.
No, but it actually shows. It just shows perspective of how much.
Of it is the coffin.
Well, you only get like when somebody gets cremated, you only get like a tiny bit of their ashes versus how much they actually just throw away.
Really?
Like bones and stuff. Yeah, but
So there's actually a lot of. So when
well,
they,
think about a full body. Hypothetically, a full your size body, right? Why would you only get like that much ashes? There's
True.
not much. It's like the remains of the remains, and the rest they just kind of just throw.
Oof.
It was a bit gross. There was a lot of bones.
Could you see bones?
Yeah. But weird question here.
Wait. When they put you in to get cremated, this silly question.
I actually don't know.
Do they put you in a coffin while you go in, or is it just your body?
No, it'd be your body.
Oh, for some reason, I thought like it was the wood and everything. With the, like, I thought it was everything.
But in her case,
That'd be a waste of cash, wouldn't it?
in her case, for example, she's running like there's only so much of the poor bastard to eat.
I know.
Is that cannibalism?
God
No.
bless. God bless Trevor. Let's admire the shit on the ground that's full of his ashes.
She was literally sucking her fingers like one of our friends does, Will James, when he's eating cheesels and he's getting all the gross,
Well, that is gross. I
Anyway.
don't like that in itself when you see people eating chips or something
but
and
it's
they're
even worse when
sucking on their fingers.
when it's your great nan. All right, next one.
Last one,
Get
the
on with it.
final one.
God, here we go.
This one's just a good old laugh.
Thank God.
This man is just he's obsessed with becoming a mermaid, essentially. He loves he just wants to be a mermaid so bad
Well, you could
and he
fit
can't
in-
let the dream go.
He could fit into the new Snow White movie.
Yep, exactly.
I do eat, breathe, and sleep mermaids. It's a lifestyle. It's my lifestyle. You know, it's the path in life that I have chosen.
Eric is obsessed with mermaids. We have our own passions. That's Eric's life.
When I first met Eric, I was introduced to
Not
the
surprised,
subject of
yeah.
mermaids on our first date. Your jaw just
This
kind
is
of
a king.
drops.
This
and
is
you're
gonna
just
be
like,
king.
wow.
When I put on a tail, I feel transformed. I feel like I'm starting to enter into, you know, a different
You're a
world
freak,
when I hit
mate.
the water.
Wait, no, I want to see him swimming.
Oh!
Keep watching.
22-year-old Eric
I mean, he looks
Ducharme's
good doing it.
obsession is so strong. He drives over an hour and a half 3 times a week to one of Florida's largest natural springs, where he swims as a merman. Despite being a certified scuba
So
diver.
one day he's gonna, if he's in Florida, he's gonna be met with a nice big croc, and he's not gonna be able to kick that bastard away because he's gonna be. I saw this actually the other day. There's a woman that makes content as a mermaid, and she's got.
You could make a killing doing that if you really wanted to. There's people making coin off that, doing it at kids' parties, or there's people actually performing in hotels or.
That's a kink, that bloke.
Oh, that's just a fantasy. It's not a kink. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, but I reckon he's sexually aroused by it, based on his boyfriend.
I didn't see any.
But his boyfriend said on the first date.
He what?
That he said he talked about the mermaid stuff.
Yeah. Maybe he's just very forward. Okay, now you've had a bit to think. What is something you've been obsessed or?
Jeez. Nothing. I can't even think now. Nothing to that extent. I tell you what, I think we actually have to cut soon because when I'm seeing stuff like that, if my thoughts come out, we're going to get ourselves cancelled, especially in this late hour.
I went through a bit of an obsession.
Oh yeah, what was yours?
Well, there was. I think I've been through quite a few. Not that they're weird. One, I was obsessed with making WWE wrestling belts. Like I would make them all the time.
Yeah.
Like out of cardboard. Like mind you, I was at home because I had a toe operation. I had a toe operation, and I was at home for a month on the couch. What did he say?
So he said, "When was this last year?"
No, very funny. No, I was 9 years of age, Sam.
Quite humorous of you, Sammy.
And then
I'm trying to think if I've had any. I'm pretty. I realise I've got an addictive personality, so I'm addicted to something for like
just
a
thought
month.
of a very funny one.
Oh, go on.
Okay, it's a bit.
Just spit it out. Son.
Okay, when I was a kid, when I was learning about sex, not when I was learning about sex, when I was a kid, you're fascinated by sexual parts. Okay.
In your case, breasts. Am I on the?
Well, no, it's got nothing to do with breasts, right? But there was a certain book. There was a certain book at my house. And it was a pregnancy book and birthing book. And it's obviously my mum. She's had 3 kids. She's, read it over the years. She's read it throughout her, pregnancies.
Yes.
And I'd never seen a vagina before. But I would see it in this book. And it was a baby's head coming out of like a real photo. And I would look at it.
A real photo?
And I would look at it all the time. Like, I would just want to look at it all the time.
How old were you?
I would have been 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Maybe not that young. No, older.
I love the gap.
Older. No, I would have been
5 to 10. No, not 5 to 7. It was 5 to 10. So
5 years.
5 years.
Maybe it was 8 to 10. Let's say that. I don't know.
That is so. Do you know what's funny? About 2 seconds ago, I said we could probably cut this now because and he's just. I'm so glad he shared it, but that is so funny.
That was a weird obsession.
We end the segment there. That is well done. All right, guys, so as we said off the top of the show, we were fortunate enough a couple of weekends ago to go to the football and get a nice experience, a backstage pass, really, into the rooms before and after the game. But what we learnt from that experience, other than some of the Crows' tunes that they like to play, was that there's some people that just think they're far more important than they actually are. And it's nothing to do with the players or the staff of the football club. It's the security guards that have to guard the rooms with their life. So we were given a wristband. They asked specifically what time do you have access from? We said 1:40 or 12:40, and he looked at his clock, it was 12:39, so we had to turn around. And basically, they just make your life so difficult without it needing to be. Every time you get into a lift, every time you walk around, people asking, who are you? Show me your accreditations. Accreditations. And it just actually appalled us, didn't it?
Well, there's this weird, I don't know what it is. It's this weird power hierarchy.
Yeah.
There's this strange hierarchy. And the hierarchy, I would say at the top, I mean, I don't know how high it is, but security has to be up there. On this day, there was like 4 different security guards or different people at different doors that were manning the doors that just... They were. I understand they're doing their job.
Yes.
That's the thing we have to also realise is they're just doing what they're paid to do.
Yes.
They're making sure that no one's coming in that shouldn't be coming in. But there's a tone that you can use.
You can be polite about it.
Exactly. And unfortunately, at least on 2 occasions, like even our own accreditation wasn't enough. They needed to double check.
And But I don't get it. In that environment, there's probably a lot of nuffies hanging around and a lot of people that are just so excited to be in the area and around players that they probably have to take it a bit serious.
And we were there early.
we were 5 minutes early.
I know.
And we were made to feel like fools. But anyway, so look, it's probably going to be a very short segment. Based on that experience, I've gone and found what's considered the top 8 jobs in the world where there's pretty much a power trip. And I just want to ask you if you've ever experienced any of these. So the first one is security guards. So that's obviously, we've just talked about that. Now,
do bouncers come under that?
Coming up a little bit later on. Let's do that now, actually. Bouncers. So bouncers are very, very power trippy. They hold all the keys to the city.
Well, they hold the power.
They hold the power, and they love
bouncers and door girls or door guys.
But I think bouncers, especially guys, love nothing more than the phrase, "Not tonight, boys."
Well, it's the most common phrase
they just
in
love
nightlife history.
And what they love doing is they love leading you on. They love looking at your ID. They like checking everything. How many of you that make you really think how many drinks you've had tonight. You're looking at them straight in the eyes. You think I'm absolutely fine here. They keep it going. I feel like they just enjoy the game. And then right when you're about to step foot into the venue,
flirt with the women.
Right when you're about to step into the venue, it's not tonight, boys. And out you go. And actually, one of our staff members in the room
I knew that was coming.
actually caused us a horrendous amount of that at our dos&d Christmas party last year, where
that's harsh. It was late.
He was a reason we just couldn't get in anywhere to the point where we had to shove him into an Uber just to piss him off so we could keep going.
We'd been into 3 venues before that venue, and he had a crack.
And Mr. Jared Long, absolutely,
or Jared Schlong as we like to call him.
Actually, Schlongy brought that nickname upon himself that night, but we actually haven't had scientific evidence that we can call you that. But anyway, and basically his eyes were rolling around. Sammy went home early that night, and I think Sammy would have been in the same boat.
Well, Sammy said were you going home to the missus that night? Yeah.
No, he's saying we can't talk about that. But one thing was funny. Just before Sammy left, he was standing on the dance floor by himself, mouth open. He was just staring at the roof, and to me, that was just a.
Now we're getting off track.
Yeah. Sorry.
Bouncers.
Well, yeah. Any more examples?
I don't have specific bouncer stories, but I mean, they were definitely What I don't like with bouncers is when they use their power the wrong way. So when they think, and I've seen it a few times, is yes, people can get drunk, yes, people get pissed, but when you turn to violence and you're using your power the wrong way like that, like some bouncers have actually.
I'll give you
beat the shit out of guys.
I'll give you the worst example I've seen. So one time I've been knocked back from my shoes, which is really frustrating. But this involves our friend Will James. So one night, this is going back.
Trainers.
This was going back a few years ago in Mornington, and I really wanted to get to into a club because I was texting somebody, and I thought I might have been on.
And someone of the opposite sex.
Someone of the opposite sex, and I said to Will, mate, give me 5 minutes. I just got to get into the venue.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll do my best work for 5 minutes.
No, I need to get into the venue. I need to chat to her, and then we can bounce. I just need to
need to lay some groundwork.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, Will said sure, but I'm leaving my hat on. That was his only thing. I'm leaving my hat on. So we get to the top of the queue. This is Merchant Lane. And no longer exists.
One of Mornington's finest.
So we can just say it. And the bouncer, you know what I hate about bouncers? He's going, oh, boys, you're going to have the best night. He goes, wait till you see. Like, this is how they talk. You got to see the best pair of tits in there. Like, oh, mate, I got a bone. I nearly cut my pants. Like, that's what he's saying, right? Which is disgusting.
I've never heard that I must say, I've never heard that come out of a bouncer's mouth.
I'm not kidding. That's what he was saying to us. And I said to him, mate, I'm actually going there to meet somebody. So I'm okay. Anyway, Will said, can I keep my hat on? He said, yes. Will asked again, can I keep my hat on? And I think you had to pay entry fee.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah. We go in. We've been in the venue 30 seconds. That same bouncer, I'm not kidding, walks behind us, grabs Will, and he said, I told you, no hat. Will said, no. He said, take the hat off. Will said, you told me outside I can leave my hat on. He said, no, I didn't. He said, you take it off or you go. Will refused. He grabbed him, and we both got dragged out.
Jeez.
That's abusing power. Airport security.
Yeah.
Next on the list.
I mean, this is a serious one. You have to take this one really seriously. I get that. But
do it with a smile, lads.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you enjoy your job if you do it that way?
Yeah.
You're there 8 hours a day, probably shit hours of the day as well, especially when you're getting there really early. You're dealing with people who are stressed, under the pump.
Most stressful place on the earth.
And you can't help. Give me a smile, pussycat.
That's all we want. Just a couple of little jokes.
I know.
Next one, parking inspectors.
Well, they should just be illegal.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're running to the car. They'll just
car park inspectors, my key inspectors, or for public transport. I saw a bunch of my key inspectors the other day, and they were training other inspectors. I'm like,
how hard is it?
Oh,
just keep time.
waste of time.
But I just wish you could talk your way. Anyway, you can't.
There are actually, you wouldn't. I don't think this will be on the list, and I actually quite enjoy this, which is horrible. And I'm also a victim of this. But on my house, Brunswick Street, very busy street in Melbourne. Basically, there's a tollway zone at the front of my house, the whole way along. Both sides, it's tollway on different times of the day. Our side, it's tollway obviously at 4:30 onwards. Other side at 7:30 a.m. onwards. When I see a car that gets, clipped up, you see people sprinting. I saw a bloke sprinting in his jocks one morning a few weeks ago, and it was very funny. He came out in his jocks, just his jocks. And
just his Mitch Dowds.
Oh, in his Mitch Dowds. And he was trying to convince the guy, and the guy basically was giving him that. And he had to just turn around and accept that his car's right there. Mate, just let me move it. But those guys, total power trip. And I think it's because they get paid for every car they tow.
Commission.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the ones at council when you write to them to try to get out of a ticket. They love just rubber stamping and almost like not tonight, boys. They're like, this is bullshit.
Really?
Pay the fine. They love it.
Oh, I just appealed one the other day.
Yeah, good luck. I appeal them all the time. All right, really quick. I'm not sure why this made the list, but I can sort of see it. Real estate and property managers like having a power trip.
Yeah. I can see.
Sometimes I do think they're a little bit more important.
Property managers, I can see that.
Tax auditors.
That's a
Goes without
no-brainer.
saying. And for fuck's sake, I've actually clicked delete, but that's okay because I can remember the last two is police officers.
I don't want to say anything bad about them.
No, they do a great job.
We need them.
That's just tough.
We need more of them.
Get them a bit tougher.
We need
As
them.
in, that's real. You do the wrong thing, fucking pay your price.
Well, it's not their fault. It's not.
No, it's not their fault at all.
It's the government's fault.
But the final one, and thank God, I would despise having to work in a place and maybe one day we might have to have one of these people in our team. This clip could come back to bite me, but people in HR. When you have to go and see the HR lady because you haven't been woke enough, then they love a bit of power. They love to tell you that that's sexual harassment or that's sexual whatever, So
yeah, anyone in those roles, just keep an eye out.
just have a bit of humor about it. It's just a joke.
Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. Now, as D slowly sinks into his chair, just with his shoulders just almost above his head, just with pure just cringeness at the moment, I want to relive a moment which D made a fool of himself, and a right mockery, I must say.
I don't want to relive this.
We were at an event 3 weeks ago on behalf of one of our clients who we go and we shoot and produce their podcast, and they did a brand relaunch at a local pub or brewery near here, Brew Manatee, which we went, and we were there on behalf of Podium
And ourselves.
and we were there to shoot a bit of content. So we got there early before the event.
Oh, this is horrible.
And it's a rooftop, and the sun's out. It's probably 30 degrees.
It was hot.
First mistake you and I made, which we got there and we're in like a suit and, and they're all in T-shirts. So
we're not quite a suit. We had a suit blazer.
A blazer with a T-shirt. They're all underdressed. And then we kind of just, we're just making acquaintances and we're saying g'day to everyone and we're standing there.
Oh.
And the door, say we're standing, we're facing an open door it's almost like a sliding door that opens out to like a big deck. So we're standing outside. There's a sliding door. The sliding doors are open, and that inside is the bar. So a person is walking from this inside out to the sliding doors, and D and I are kind of facing this guy
In the middle of a conversation.
in the middle of a conversation with another person. What D didn't realise, but there's someone behind D. D can't see him, but there's someone behind D. Not in our conversation, but that person is trying to get the attention of the person in front of us. So this person in front of us is walking with a big smile on his face, all joyous, and
He's just coming to the event.
he's coming to the event. I actually think he was the manager of the pub.
Oh.
And he's put, I must say, so he's smiled and he's put his hand out. And D is obviously thinking...
But a little bit to my right.
Yeah, it's a little bit to D's right. It wasn't directly in D's line, but it was enough for D to get confused and think, gee, this guy's friendly. What D does is he puts his hand out and the guy moves his hand. You know what D does? He moves his hand as well and grabs it, shakes it as hard as he can, And then I look and I turn and there's a guy behind D and going, oh, no, that's for me. And then what the bloke did, he didn't even acknowledge D. He went, and then went and shook the next guy's hand.
Oh, Sammy looks appalled.
It was disgusting.
I literally, to give you, I'm not kidding, I grabbed his hand and pulled him into me. Like, I knew it wasn't for me at that stage, but I still wanted to, I'm like.
Well, you were too far gone.
Yeah, so I grabbed it, and I grabbed it, and I pulled it, and then it was the most, and then everybody laughed. Oh, it's horrible.
So, off the back of that, the embarrassment and shame that I felt as your friend.
Yeah, you didn't want it, but you didn't know me in that moment.
I didn't.
No.
Basically, I thought to myself, there's lots of other moments that, it's not just you. It's happening to a lot of other people.
I do it to you a lot with handshakes, don't I?
Yeah. Why is it the handshakes?
I don't know.
That's your awkwardness. It's greetings and goodbyes.
Yeah.
Even with the, you're
thanks, mate.
You're never sure whether to do a kiss on the cheek or a hug or kiss, someone on the lips, a friend's mum or on the cheek.
Yeah. No.
But basically, I've got I want to play a video, Sammy, and don't click it yet. Right? So this to me this has to be one of the most. I want to kick this segment off by this video because it is one of the. Picture a wedding, the bride and groom are about to walk in, and
yuck.
Should I just not say anymore? Basically, the groom basically embarrasses himself right before the big day. Got some volume? Oh no! Oh, here we go.
Oh. That's yuck.
And the worst bit about this is he pretends that it didn't happen. He's like, yeah, grabs his...
No, I'm with him.
What?
I'm with him in that.
Made a mistake.
Do you know what gives me worse embarrassment? It's when somebody does that. So just describe to those listening, was he walked into a room.
Him and his wife, they've walked into the reception of the wedding. And they've gone through like a single door frame.
And he thought it was Booker T.
He's coming with the almost like
a scissor kick,
and he's not taking into account the actual what do you call the thing above the door frame?
Yep.
And as he's jumped, he's smashed his head into it. He's gone to ground. He's got straight back up. Everyone's laughing. He's grabbed his wife, and they've walked into the reception.
But I reckon he's done the right thing because you know what I find where I cringe the hardest is when somebody falls or does something and they lie on the floor laughing. And they just lay there for like 20 seconds laughing at themselves. I'm like, just get up. It's just,
man, that got me badly. I remember seeing that on TikTok and I thought, gee whiz, I couldn't handle that being there. No thanks.
No.
So, what do you think are some of the most awkward secondhand embarrassment encounters that you would see often? Think of a place that you go to all the time.
I always think it's always for
I've got one in my mind.
It's always when people slip over to me. When I'm walking with somebody and they slip over. Or they fall over and it grabs everybody's attention and you don't know if you should pick them up. And even one step further is when you're in like a public place and somebody falls over and there's like 5 people and 3 rush over to try help them out. You never know how many people. Do you go and help or do you stay back? Like, and then there's too many people lifting you up.
So on the topic of weddings, I've got a personal anecdote to share.
Yeah, great.
And this is cringe and embarrassing. So I was a groomsman at a good mate of mine, his wedding last year.
Yep.
And in the preparation for this wedding and this bridal party, this is beautiful day. I was so honoured to be involved, but I don't want to do an entrance as I walk in.
No, I agree.
Like, why?
Agree.
Thank you for making me be a part of it.
Agree with you.
But we had to do an entrance with our with the person we were coupled with. So when the reception's happening, each groomsman and bridesmaid has to come in together and do like a little dance.
Oh, I hate that. And it's an
interpreted dance.
This is why I don't want to get married. For this reason.
I'm all I understand the excitement, and that's what the bride wanted, and it was fun. But the night before the wedding, we all met at the main house and like had to practice.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do. So me and the girl I was partnered with, I gave no contribution to the dance moves whatsoever. We couldn't think of anything. She just said, why don't we just do the in-betweeners thing, which was, it's like this.
Yeah.
And then this. Right?
Yuck.
So cringe and embarrassing, right?
Ew.
And we did it. But it's secondhand embarrassment because everyone there is cringing at it.
Yeah.
No one is watching it.
No one feels comfortable.
No
one feels comfortable.
No one's going, that is funny. Well done. Great moves. Like, no one is doing that. Everyone knows it's cringe.
Ugh. Have you ever...
Except for the bride and groom.
Have you ever... Because we've done... How many interviews have we done on the show together now? over the years? 100, 150?
150, yeah.
Yeah. Have I ever said something, or like, you know, it's also secondhand embarrassment? Like when we're just doing the pod or something, if one of us cracks a joke and it falls flat and you're both in it together, like that's
happened probably quite a lot.
That's
actually.
quite yuck.
But that also got me thinking around, actually, I'm just reading through my notes here. Oh, I just thought of another. I'm sorry, folks. I've just read another one that was a personal reference, which was totally cringe, wedding related, right? So I went to a wedding. Sounds like I get invited to all these weddings, which I don't. Me and Garney went to a wedding in Adelaide, probably about 2 years ago.
I think, just before you carry on, I think wedding is almost a perfect setting.
There's so much
cringe at weddings.
Because love is cringe. Like, no offense, but not love isn't cringe. You know what's cringe? Romance. Like romance, it can be a bit cringe. It's public displays of affection. It's a bit icky. It's not necessarily cool.
It's like watching a sex scene with your parents.
Exactly. It's what society needs to run. We need romance. We need sex.
We do.
But
we need to procreate.
Exactly. But when it's in a public setting, it can be quite not sex. You know what I was meaning. The romance. I'm more thinking of public displays of affection and the holding hands and but we were at a wedding and the sister of the groom was heard. She had to get up and speak. I think you know this story, but you probably don't remember it. Beautiful wedding in the hills of Adelaide.
Yeah.
And it's such a gorgeous setting. We're all outside and the tables. And so the best man gets up and talks a nice sharp 7 to 10 minutes, as it should be.
Yeah.
You know, the bride of the groom, the father of the bride gets up and talk a nice 15, just nice.
15 minutes.
Well, maybe 10 to 15. The father deserves a bit more.
Yeah, it's a long time though.
But then the sister of the groom gets up.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And
this
you know,
is bad.
she's been told you've got a tight 7 to 10 minutes.
Yep.
So
of your time.
Yes. And keep in mind, weddings cost money. So you're paying for music, DJ, band or whatever. Photographers to capture the night in like 5 hours.
Yep.
This sister went on for 45 minutes.
That's unbelievable.
To the point where, what do you call it when someone boos or cheers?
Heckles?
Not heckles, but cheers you for the wrong reason.
Like clapping you to just get off the stage.
Well, more like... It's,
like to try to wrap someone up.
I can't remember the name of it, but basically, no, it was more like when it ended, everyone erupted. Everyone erupted.
She thought she was Martin Luther King.
Well, I think she caught the drift. But the horrible and sad thing about it was it took her the 45 minutes for her to even mention the bride.
Oh.
It was all about her and her brother and all their childhood.
Oh,
it was horrible.
Was she drunk?
No.
What about Dos when you're at the 21st and a former Western Bulldogs player decides to go into his comic routine?
Yeah.
Do you know what's cringe? Do you know what is cringe when people do speeches when they pretend to walk off set and no one laughs? Like in that instance where he goes, I might just walk now, and it's just silence, and he has to walk back to where he was to get to the mic.
Nice.
That's cool.
The second place I thought of, and it came from last week early this week when I saw it, the gym. There can be quite a few just subtle awkward encounters and secondhand embarrassment that you don't actually realise until later. But one in particular, and I was this kid, not to this extent, but when I was in the gym at 19, I remember feeling really good in my body, right?
Yep.
I remember feeling really strong, lean, fucking looked good, right? There was a kid in the gym the other day, and I've seen him a few times, kind of curly hair. He'd be at least 17.
The old broccoli look?
Nah. Bit of a curly mullet, like a bit of a burst fade, and wore a stringer, like one of those real string bean type singlets. And I'm in there around 8 o'clock, and he's on an incline press or whatever, which to me also is what I'm about to say doesn't make sense. But basically, do an incline press, and I'm just, most mirrors in front of you, you can see everywhere around you. So I'm just watching him, and he just keeps, like, he'd walk up to the mirror next to him, and he just did the double cobra, like this, right in the mirror, and he's looking at me. Like so I noticed it, and then his eyes go to me, and he does it while he's looking at me, and then he kind of struts back to the incline bench press. And I thought, I feel a bit sorry for you. Like I was almost, I don't know, I was cringing at him thinking, because I've been that. I remember thinking I was that big, and I wasn't that big, and he thinks he's really big. It's just a bit uncomfortable. It's probably not a great one.
Well, do you know what happened? Like, it just reminded me, I think it was at the Big Bash final this year. when they hit the winning runs. I think it was a guy. Was it Matthew Wade? He hit the winning runs, and the guy on the off that wasn't on strike, he ran to the team, and they all celebrated. And I think the guy that hit the winning runs fell to his knees, and he looked around waiting for people, and no one was there.
Oh.
It's like celebrating a goal in footy. It's like,
actually, I've got a great one. I've got two you might want to get up. One, Frank Lowy falling from the stage at the A-League Grand Final.
Yeah, get that up.
And then two, I don't know which player it was, but it was when Carlton won the 1995 Grand Final, and he stands up on the podium, and there's a bar, and he tries to like stand up on the bar in front, and he falls off the stage. I don't know if you can get that up, Sammy, but while you're getting that up, I've also just gone to Reddit and found a couple of others.
What about Rory Sloane at the Brownlow?
Oh, that was a shocker. That was I sometimes am scared to try and be funny because of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be funny.
What did we say? It's so funny. When we emceed that gig in December, what did we say to ourselves before? We kept saying...
You're not comedians.
Yeah, just said, don't try and crack jokes.
Don't try to be someone you're not.
If you're cracking jokes and it falls flat, you're in strife.
All right, here's Frank Lowy.
Yeah.
I think this would have been in like 2015. Now, he's probably in his 70s, towards 80 at this time.
It's just so fun. It's one of my favourite clips of all
He's
time.
presenting the trophy to Melbourne Victory captain Mark Milligan. Look at the players. They didn't know what to do.
It's one of the best.
And he's fallen. He's gone topsy-turvy over the stage. Here's a couple of other shockers. So this one, I cringed just reading it. We're at an all-inclusive resort in Jamaica. Every night they had this common area where folks could do karaoke. A middle-aged gentleman got up and started the first few lines of Lionel Richie's Easy. Now, karaoke at the best of times is a bit cringe.
Massively cringe.
I've done it one time, like actually gone out with friends, and I would have been 17. Never done it again since. Some random lady from the audience ran up and attempted to sing the song with the gentleman. So he's trying to sing Easy by Lionel. It might be his favourite song.
Yeah.
This random pissed woman is getting up trying to sing with him. He kindly pushed her away 2 or 3 times as he tried to sing over his shoulders into the microphone. Finally, she just stood there, dejected, swaying from side to side like an idiot. As the man broke from his song and professed his love for his girlfriend in the crowd and wrapped up with a marriage proposal, they hugged, they kissed, and the idiot girl went back to her seat. I'll never understand why that guy chose that song to use to propose. However, he was killing the vocals. I mean, it's not the fondness of love story songs, is it?
No, not a bit easy like Sunday morning. I'll tell you another one that's definitely secondhand embarrassment. It's when you go bowling with somebody. When you're walking back from after bowling a ball.
Well, that's just awkward.
But is that not the most... But
it's not. You're not embarrassed.
No, but you know what secondhand embarrassment is? It's like when you've done it now for the 12th time and you're walking back and you do a little kick or you do a little...
Yeah.
Like whatever you do, it just embarrasses everybody.
Had someone at my college graduation ceremony yelled, "I'm the queen of the world," when accepting her diploma. Not a single person laughed. Like, that's...
Making a big announcement and getting crickets is tough.
Even I find, speaking of graduations, I went to my younger sister's graduation and I was going to go 2 ways there. But the main part at the end was, it was not planned. None of the students knew it was happening. Everyone got their diploma, got up on stage except their certificate or, bachelor or whatever. And then this random guy rocks up on the stage and he goes, you can't stop the feeling. And then there was there was this big dance, a flash dance, a flash mob on the stage, and the singing was terrible. And it would have been 20 people in the flash mob on the stage.
How awkward!
And it was.
That reminds me of going to like my sister's like high school thing, and like there's like
people come through the crowd, and they're trying to like interact with you at the High School Musical.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
But there's a few more, but I won't go into it. But yeah, secondhand embarrassment. You made a fool of yourself. That's for sure.
Thanks. Starting to warm up in here, Dos. This is time for Two Edge Hot Topics.
My favourite.
We love the Two Edge Hot Topics, but as always, Dos, let's talk about the 725 series.
Precision, distance,
and accuracy.
Length, accuracy. All the things you want in a golf club. The 725 series, don't they have it?
Well, I went and had a hit the other day, actually, with not these clubs, because these are right-handed, but I went and hit it with my old left hand, and I just realised how much I actually need to go, and I will go seeing the boys, and they'll look after me, and you know what? You should too.
Follow Tour Edge as well on Instagram, Tour Edge AU.
Nice and simple.
Pretty good. Lots of prizes plenty of awesome stuff.
Yeah,
that they're posting.
And it's been great to see. Just off topic, the show and tell segment going so well at the moment on social. So
it is good.
It's really
one thing I must say though, everyone just loves bringing in accessories that are easy to bring in.
Yeah, that's been we might have to revisit that one.
I know,
actually,
there should be rules and regulations.
That'll be a bit of a post-production meeting.
There's been
I
about
think.
3 wedding rings.
But for those that have it, if you are one of the 3 people in the country that don't listen to this show and you're listening for the first time, what we do with Hot Topics is that we like to just throw. Each month we take turns. One of us will throw hot topics at the other one with quick answers and basically first thing that comes to your mind. And we're going to kick things off with this. Now, Dos, are you across the Snow White movie?
I know that it's terrible.
A story that's close to my heart.
The new one?
Yeah, the new one, but
Yeah.
the original story, one that's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And basically, Disney have put out a live action film, which they like to do with all the old cartoon movies. They like to kind of reimagine it. And basically, there's only one way to put it. They've gone completely woke. You'll notice that the title is just Snow White, so there's no mention of dwarfs. Which
There's
is
no mention of little people.
I don't think you're allowed to mention that word in this movie. And Snow White, who the name itself, Snow White, I think the purpose of the movie, she's pretty pale in complex, and they've gone with a woman of colour for that role. Now, that's fine, but I think anyway, that's fine. But the critics and basically it's got the worst ever in Disney. Sammy's laughing. Basically, in terms of Disney movies, it's got the lowest rating ever. It's completely been cooked in box office. The actual ratings for the movie.
Who's the lead? Do we know it?
I don't know. I haven't gone. I know I won't be seeing the movie, and apparently they've made it very empowering, but it doesn't quite make sense with the story. But anyway, have you ever gone to the movies or been excited for a movie or TV show, and you've been so excited with the anticipation, but then been completely disappointed or let down? If so, what?
I used to really, really look forward to certain shows, but was I let down? Like there was one show in particular I remember always just hanging out to watch for a period of time, but it definitely didn't let me down. But it was Angry Boys with Chris Lilly. And I remember looking forward to that every Wednesday after school. It would be on, and all of us would get together and watch it.
Did you ever go to the movies one day and you got there and you're excited and the movie it was just a letdown? It wasn't funny. No, I think of sequels. Have you ever gone like you've watched the first movie and you thought that's a great movie, like Dumb and Dumber, and then you go watch the second one, you're like, that's shit.
Oh, you know me, I'm terrible with these things on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some shocking sequels.
Yeah.
Like, there's some terrible sequels. One, which, okay, I remember one. An absolute classic, The Sandlot. I don't know if you've seen The Sandlot.
No.
The Sandlot it's on Disney as well. I think it is a Disney movie. Basically, bunch of kids, baseball, they love baseball. And just a real good family flick. The baseball gets hit over the fence. There's a big, huge dog. And the whole movie and plot of the movie is they're trying to get this baseball back because it's signed by Babe Ruth.
Oh.
Yeah. So the new kid in the neighborhood, Scotty Smalls, he wanted to be part of this new gang or this group. His dad had a signed baseball, brought it in, got hit. So he got accepted. But the whole movie, I'm sorry to give it away, guys.
Oh, yeah, it's not a movie review show, but go on.
But they brought out The Sandlot 2 and 3.
Yeah, because it sounds like to me that there's probably not sequels in that movie.
So The Sandlot 2 wasn't good.
That was one of them. All right, we'll keep moving on. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I played a practice match for footy, and we played in 37-degree heat in Shepparton. Now, we had to take a bus as a team, which was great bonding. Now, the bus drive up is a lot of fun. Bus drive home, you're allowed to get on the sauce. And
what was the operation? Eskies in the aisle?
Yeah, and well, everyone in the town, Shepparton, everybody went to a bottle before we left and filled their boots, basically. But you know what happens once you start? There's a term for it.
Can't stop.
Yeah, basically.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
But once you piss once, you just
break the seal.
Break the seal. That's what happens. So the bus driver made it very clear, I'll stop once and once only.
Oh, no.
And we did that, but then the boys it got disgusting. There was Gatorade bottles and anyway, so basically...
Who's driving this bus? Is it a company?
The company. Basically,
disrespectful.
Boys were no, but they needed to go, so they started pissing in Gatorade bottles. What is the most disgusting boys being boys moment you've experienced? Could be at Bucks parties. It could just be in friendship groups.
What
comes to mind?
Yeah, what comes to mind for you?
Well, we always talk about Jai's special trick.
I mean, one comes to mind. Just again, me, you, and Jai. For some reason, one evening we decided to wax my ass.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that was a boys be boys kind of moment. I mean, I don't know why that was
Why
funny.
did we wax your ass though?
No idea.
No.
Was there a reason? Did I lose a bet?
No.
Did
I think you were anticipating a little bit of lovemaking coming up in the next few days, and you decided you had a very hairy ass and you didn't want it to be.
let's just put this out there. My butt does not get touched.
No, it does. It was years ago, but I think you were a little bit self-conscious about the hair. And we said, us being mates, we said, mate, why don't we wax this for you?
And it didn't. Did it? Actually, I do remember it being quite smooth.
There's a great video. I put it on TikTok once, and we got banned like that. But basically, it's the way the camera's set is Dos is lying on the bed, camera facing his face, but you could see Jai and I in the background, and there's two men hovering over his ass. Jai's spreading your cheeks, and I'm waxing.
You know what's bad about that video though is D was so dumb. Is like pull the wax strip off. What D did is he like. No, he would pull it, but he wasn't pulling it hard enough, so it didn't come all the way off. So he had to do 2 yanks. So one, he didn't grip it enough. So he did one small yank, and then he slowly yanked the rest.
All right, now
Terrible.
There's been a big mystery unfold. You don't even know about this, but there's been a big mystery unfold in my personal life. Basically, I've lost my Fitbit, my wristwatch.
Panics for a bit there.
I'm not dying, mate. I'm okay. And I went to have. We all know I like to fake tan, and I went to tan the other night, and I threw my watch onto the bed, went and tanned, and I've never seen my watch again. And I've flipped my room inside out.
Checked under the bed?
I've checked, mate. I've checked. I've spent hours checking every element of my room. I can't find it anywhere. It's the biggest mystery. I've checked rubbish bins. I'm convinced I've flushed. Like I've even checked like the freezer and the fridge because I can't think where it can't be anywhere. It's to the point where I reckon I'm even second guessing. I'm like, did I do something like flush it down the toilet or anyway? We know you lose stuff, but have you ever lost something that you literally have no idea where it went or how it went? And for me, I reckon it might be something you lost here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No idea where they are.
So what happened? Because this is a mystery. This is a genuine mystery. And we've got a theory on this.
I know. So I had a pair of Nikes, like just Nike, I don't know what they are. They're just sneakers. And why did I have them?
I don't know.
Did I change shoes or something?
You had them in the van.
Basically, I had a pair of Nikes and something, a phone charger in a tote bag here in the studio. It was in the car outside.
Do you guys remember this? You're all here.
And it might have been a day when there were some junkies maybe moping around. I think so. But we went and got a bagel and a coffee next door, and we came back, and then a junkie thing might have happened. And then I went to find my shoes, and I couldn't find them, and the bag with my charger. And then since that day, I've never found them. So good pair of Nikes, gone.
It was a mystery.
Yeah.
They just vanished.
Yeah, don't know where they are.
You think that maybe they opened the car
and everyone
door.
was like, "You sure you brought them? Are you sure they were in your car?" I was like, "Mate, they were next to me."
No, we saw them.
Yeah.
So we think a junkie opened your
Yeah,
door.
they were definitely stolen.
That's
100%.
incredible. Unbelievable. All right.
Yeah.
We had a pro eater in the studio. What's your death row meal?
My last meal?
Yeah.
Pizza.
Lovely.
Massive pizza.
Nice and quick. What's your song of the month at the moment? We like to hear what Dos's favourite song is at the moment.
Oh, what's it called? Nah, I've got it.
I was loving a bit of Do You Know the Enemy today by Green Day. That was great.
I've been listening to this non-stop. Point of View.
By who?
DB Boulevard. Do you want to hear a little bit?
Yeah. Is this an old song? Oh, yeah. I know this song.
It's on a lot of ads and stuff.
Yeah.
From another point.
Turn it off now.
Yeah, D gets sensitive about that.
No, I just get worried.
No.
Lovely.
You're worried about lots of stuff.
Like what?
Lots of stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, I do. Well, yeah. All right, last one. Snap election has been announced. Are you across this?
I do. Is it the 15th?
I think it's the 5th. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But we got an election coming up. Okay, what's one thing you're genuinely concerned about in the country right now? What would make you vote for somebody? For me, it'd be, to be honest, right now, it'd be snapping down on the crime because it's starting to concern me.
That's probably mine as well.
That would make me vote. If somebody said we're going to actually take this serious, then that would be mine.
Yeah, and I'd probably say the same thing.
All right, we'd love to finish.
Stole your answer.
We'd love to finish on a political note.
a mighty fine uncut episode of DOS&D, isn't it?
We've been here for... I got here at 6:30 this morning.
I knew you would have, yeah.
10 and a half hours ago.
Do you want a medal or?
No, I'm just saying I'm ready to go home.
Okay, yeah, same.
Ready to go home.
Yeah, I got here at 7, so did you boys.
You got here at... there's a TikTok...
6:58.
Yeah, there's a TikTok video going around of that.
Yeah.
One.
Great episode. Awesome episode. Nice to sit across from you, have a bit of a giggle.
all the boys, all three of them packing up as we go.
I mean,
I know, we've held them long enough, so we're going to get out of here, guys. Like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Insta, TikTok, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time. Anything else?
Just make sure to watch... what am I trying to say?
That segment.
Well, no, I was going to say, make sure you go to YouTube and watch our other episodes, our other interviews and episodes. We want to push YouTube hard, so make sure you're going and, checking that out.
Chow Ming.